Guys, it's Jeremy here at Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. Continuing with the series I've been doing kind of more lately, this will be my top 10 bands of the next subgenre. Again, mentioned in a previous video, I don't know how I haven't done these videos on my channel yet. Like I said, I've done the top 10 of each country, I've done top 20 albums of a subgenre, but I never just gave my top favorite bands of each subgenre. So I'm enjoying doing this, tackling these lists. Next in line here, we got melodic death metal, one of my favorite subgenres of metal of all time. And some of my all-time favorite bands, when I'm looking at these ones on my list here, probably some of the bands I listen to more than, this might be my most listened to subgenre behind thrash metal. When I'm really looking at these bands, like I listen to these bands like every week. Like, not all of them, but 5 or 6 of them I listen to like every week. Like really high rotation. So let's jump right in, guys. I'm not going to say too much about each band, just give my couple favorite albums and kind of go through it. So number 10, I went with At the Gates, great death metal band from Sweden, melodic death metal band, I should say. Slaughter of the Soul, of course, is their best album. It's so iconic, just a masterpiece. But their last couple of albums lately were pretty good too. Drink from the Night Itself and The Nightmare of Being. And the At War with Reality was good as well. Most of their albums are pretty solid when we're looking at them. There's not really too many weak albums, but I prefer Slaughter of the Soul by far the most. But just a really good album, really good band. And the next one you got here is Cataclysm. Early on, they were more of a straight up death metal band, but their more recent half of their catalog is more leaning into melodic death metal, so I included them here. They're from Quebec, Canada originally. Standard albums for me. The last album, Goliath, was really killer. I like Victim of the Fallen World is really good. Let me see here. Shadow and Dust is really good. Of Ghost and Gods from 2015 is one of my favorite albums from them. Really good stuff. Mediations was good. Like, all their stuff is pretty solid. I prefer their more recent stuff that's more melodic. But really cool band out of Canada. If you're not familiar with them, please check them out. At number 8, I went with a band that's a little bit more new for me, is The Crown. I just reviewed their latest album on my channel last week. I really dig these guys. Like I said, this is a newer band for me, so not quite as high in the rotation yet compared to the other bands I've had for a long time. But I love Cobra Speed Venom. I love Royal Destroyer. Those are my introduction to the band. Last album was pretty killer from this year. I liked it as well quite a bit. Death Race King is probably their best album. It's really, really good stuff. Hell Is Here is good. Let me see here. Crowned Unholy is a solid album as well. I still need to pick up a lot of their stuff on CD, but love the sound of these guys, this band. It's just really memorable songs, still aggressive and heavy, but really good stuff. Last album was pretty killer. Go check it out. At number 7, I went with Amon Amarth. I definitely listened to these guys more in the mid-2000s. I've kind of been falling off them a little bit lately, just because their last 3 or 4 albums are really starting to sound kind of samey to me. They kind of been cranking out the same album like 3 or 4 times in a row now. Like The Great Heathen Army, Berserker, Yom's Viking, Deceiver of the Gods. Like, those kind of 4 albums all sound very similar to me. They don't really stand out from each other. Still sounds really good. It's heavy, it's catchy. The songs are still really good, but they just have the same kind of, you know what I mean? Like, they all sound the same to me, so it's kind of like, I'm kind of falling off them a little bit. But my favorite album from them has always been Twilight of the Thunder God. Definitely the most memorable songs on that one. Hearing the title track performed live is amazing. The whole crowd drowns out the vocalist, and it's so loud, and everyone just loves that song. It's killer. With Odin on Our Side is another great standout for me. Fate of Norns, Versus the World. That whole stretch of albums there, there's like 4 in a row that were just killer. From 2002 to 2008, really good stuff. Still good band. I still pick up their new stuff when it comes out, but I don't listen to them quite as much, especially the newer stuff, because, like I said, it kind of sounds the same. I kind of pull out their old records a little bit more, but my rotation on them is a little bit less than it used to be. At number 6, I went with Insomnium, a really killer melodic death metal band. My favorite album from them has always been Shadows of the Dying Sun. I think it was my introduction to the band. That may be part of it. 14. But Since the day of all, since the day it all came down is a really good album as well. Earlier one of theirs. One for Sorrow is a really good album as well. I have that one. Winter's Gate is killer. That's the one that has like the one track that's like an hour long. Heart Like a Grave. All their more recent material is really killer. I still have to pick up their newest album, Anno 1696. I haven't picked that one up yet on CD. But really good band. If you're not familiar with these guys, they're from Finland. Definitely check them out. Really good guitar playing, great solos, great melodic passages, just really good band. At number 5, I went with Children of Bodom. Rest in peace, Alexei. Always loved Children of Bodom, a band I've been into since early 2000s. I got into them, and I think I have all their albums except for Hexed. I think the last one I still have to pick up. I have their whole discography on CD though. I love all their stuff. Still a band I listen to weekly, to be honest. Are You Dead Yet was always my favorite album by them. Hate Breeder's really good. Hey Crew, Death Rolls, one of my favorites. Follow the Reaper. Something Wild, their debut. Like, really good albums from these guys. Just fast and great guitar playing from Alexei. Great frontman, cool vocals. Great use of the keyboard, which normally doesn't work in a lot of bands like this, but these guys blend it perfectly, in my opinion. And just always been one of my favorite from the subgenre. I still love them to this day. Number 4 is another band I listen to a lot, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorite bands of all time. And that band is Amorphous. So my cat's going. The band is Amorphous. Standard albums for me would be... I got into the band more recently, around 2013 with The Circle. I have all their albums since then, Under the Red Cloud, Queen of Time, and Halo. I still have to go back and pick up their earlier stuff, but Tales from the Thousand Lakes from '94 is probably my favorite album from them to date. Far From the Sun is good, Eclipse is good, Silent Waters, like Skyforger, they're all really good. Eclipse, like I said, Queen of Time, I think this band just gets better and better over time. Just some really memorable songs, still heavy, but beautiful melodic passages, great guitar playing, great solos. Just a really good band, really killer frontman as well in vocals. What's his name? Tommy Utzon is the lead vocalist at the moment. Really distinct voice, really sounds really good. Suits the band perfectly. And number 3, my top 3 are pretty much interchangeable. These are the 3 that I still listen to with the highest rotation. I wouldn't say, I think I like them all pretty equally at this point. They're pretty close, but I had to put them in some kind of order. And these, like I said, are the 3 bands I still listen to with the highest rotation. In Flames, I have a number 3. A lot of people give In Flames shit for some of their most recent material, say they sell out and whatever, but I love all eras of In Flames. I love Colony, I love Clayman. The Jester's Race is probably the best album. But even the albums a lot of people don't like Sounds of a Plague Gone Fading, Siren Charms, I still dig those albums. I think they're a little bit more on the alternative metal side, but they're still heavy, they're still crunchy, they're heavy, they're fast, they're catchy songs, like memorable songs. I'm not sure why those albums get so much hate. I just don't get it personally. But love all their stuff. Clayman, Come Clarity. Like, I really like all their albums, to be honest with you. I love this band. Listen to them every week. Number 2 is a band I gloat about on this channel all the time, trying to get more people into them. The Mighty Kalma. They're from Finland, I think. Yeah, Finland. But these guys are just epic melodic death metal. They have like the kind of going to war kind of sound, like Fist in the Air. Love these guys. My favorite albums from them, their last album, Kalma, from last year was my album of the year. I dug it that much. It was killer stuff. 12 Gauge has always been one of my favorites. Black Waltz is probably their best album overall from 2006. But all their albums, Swamp Lord, They Will Return, like all their stuff is really killer. I think I have most of their stuff on hard copy. I just need to pick up the last couple, I think. I think I have most of their stuff. And number 1, I just have Dark Tranquillity, but like I said, the top 3 are pretty interchangeable. Initially, I had In Flames at number 1, because they were always my favorite band from the subgenre. But then I switched to Kalma, and then I was thinking, well, lately I've been listening to Dark Tranquillity like a lot, so I just put Dark Tranquillity number one for that reason. But I love all the top of those three bands are my three favorite for sure. From Dark Tranquillity, the last album was killer. End Time Signals, I wouldn't be surprised if it made my year-end list. I've been listening to that more and more. I love it more and more the more I listen to it. Love Michael Stahn's vocals, one of my favorite vocalists of all time. He's got some of the best harsh vocals, but you can still fully understand what he's saying. And his melodic vocals are just beautiful. He's got this really deeper, rich tone to his voice. And he's got an incredible, clean singing vocal. One of my favorites in metal. But End Time Signals, the last one was good. Automa, Construct, Fiction is really good. We Are the Void. The Gallery is really good. I prefer their kind of newer stuff, to be honest. I love the new one. I love the last album, Moment, from 2020. Made my year-end list, top 5. But I love all their stuff. I love the perfect balance between heavy and melody. Just a really, really good band. Also, let me know down below, guys, who your favorite death or melodic death metal bands of all time would be. I'm sure there's ones I left off. In the back of my head, I'm thinking of a band that should fit here that I feel like I'm missing, but it's bothering me. I can't remember. But let me know down below, guys, what your picks would be for melodic death metal. And stay tuned for more great content. And keep it metal.